Welcome to 5 Minutes of Momentum. These episodes are a short 5-minute burst of inspiration, motivation, and massive action. If you need that little kick up the butt to get things moving and to inspire you to take massive action, then every single Thursday I'll be sending you through a 5-minute episode to download, digest, and implement to finish your week off strong. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Okay, are you ready for a little bit of tough love? A little bit of tough love. I feel like sometimes I can be two sides with different coaching styles. I can be tough love, and other times I can be like super compassionate and helping you just be super kind with yourself, because I know that judgment doesn't help, and when you judge yourself it causes you to hold on to the thing that you want to change. Whereas today I feel like we're in need of a little bit of tough love. Because one of the things that often shows up is we can often talk about the things that we want, but if we're not backing it up with action, if we're not following through and doing the damn thing, we're never going to get to our goals. And you can find all the reasons, all the excuses, but at the end of the day, you can either have results or you can have excuses. You can't have both, right? I just love that quote. You cannot have both. So you've got to decide, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to take that action, and how are you going to put aside that fear and make that result happen? Now, the other thing that I want to speak to you today on the podcast is in relation to this, right? If you're talking about wanting to be a speaker, wanting to become known for what it is that you do, if you're wanting to be speaking on stages, if you want to be guests on podcasts, if you want to be an author, like whatever it is that you are telling yourself and you're telling others about the things that you want to actually do and be known for, the thing is, before any of these opportunities come your way, because they won't, right? I just want to start there. Those opportunities will not come your way until you are starting to be seen as doing those things. So you've got to create those outcomes. You've got to create those opportunities and stop waiting for them to come to you. So what I mean by that, you say you want to be a speaker. How often are you speaking online? How often are you creating videos that you are speaking to camera? Right? That's my first place to start. You've got to be seen to be sharing value, adding content, and being seen, right? I don't know if you follow Matt Rife on TikTok. He is a comedian, and I've just followed his career over the last, 6 months. He has absolutely blown up in the last 6 months, and it came from him sharing TikTok videos of him doing crowd work basically at any of his shows. So he would have someone record him doing crowd work while he was on stage. So whatever crowd work is basically like talking to the crowd and then basically like continuously having incredible wit and just coming back with incredible comebacks and just like dealing with hecklers and all the things, right? He's honestly hilarious. And so he started popping up on TikTok, and then more and more people started seeing him do that. And then obviously that started to create more demand for his comedy shows, and so then he started booking more comedy shows, and then before you know it, he announced a world tour, and he had Ashton Kutcher in the ad for the world tour. Like, it just went absolutely bonkers, and I honestly believe it came from, and he talks about this, how it actually came from TikTok, that he had been on the scene for many years, but he wasn't really active online. And when he started recording him and putting it up on TikTok, it did not take very long before he absolutely blew up. So I want you to think about like how you're being seen, because you might be doing a lot of the things behind the scenes, but if you are not public with it, if you're not being seen to speak in front of camera, if you're not being seen to be on panel speaking, if you're not being seen to be writing, like whatever it is that you want to do, you need to start becoming known for that before those opportunities will come your way. Whereas often what we think is like, oh no, when those opportunities will come, and I'm just hoping that, and I'm manifesting those to happen, but they don't often come unless you make them happen. And so you've got to be seen to be doing the thing before you can become that person. So what do you want to be known for? And how can you start showing that more publicly? Because it is about the visibility piece. The more people who see you do it, the more people who know who you are and what you do, the more likely it is that they will recommend you to other people. They will speak your name in other rooms. They will ask you, they will set you up for opportunities. They'll ask you to do that for them in some capacity. This came through as well recently with a retreat that I went to, and we were talking about a few different things, and I reckon I shared probably 3 or 4 different people, some people who were in my masterminds and friends of mine that do incredible things. I was speaking their names in those rooms, and I just had a moment on one of the days where I was like, if I did not know how to communicate what it is that they did effectively, then I would not know how to recommend them, right? And it's so key that, like, obviously I get a beautiful insight into people's businesses when I work with them, and obviously friends of mine and whatnot, but like that doesn't happen very often unless it's really easy for people to communicate what it is that you do. And so that's why I'm also really passionate about you going out there and being really consistent with your messaging and sharing who you are, who you work with, and why you work with people, so then people can take the same language that you use and share it with other people, so it's really clear and really succinct. And that makes it easier for people to speak your names in those rooms. So if you want to be known for something, how can you start to be seen more often doing that thing? I want you to take that with you today and think about how you can show up online and share what it is that you do.